guys, it's Suzanne Orlando, your anxiety alchemist, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the first step in how you can start getting away from the pain that probably holds you back and prevents you from doing so many things. And if you follow me on Instagram, I just did a reel, which is a new kind of video on Instagram, where I briefly described this whole concept. So when we talk about getting away from pain, the first step that's so important to understand is what our biggest competition is when it comes to our pain. When it comes to our pain, what is the one major thing? When I talk about competition, what is the one major thing that kind of holds us back and keeps us in that place of pain? And I'm not necessarily talking about physical pain. I'm talking about, the emotional pain, the noise, the words that we talk about, the words that we tell ourselves, the things that hold us back, the fears. That's what I really am referring to when I refer to pain. And what I can share with you is the biggest thing that holds us back, and the best way to start getting away from that pain and moving towards feeling better is really understanding what's happening in between this ear and this ear, because that's where our biggest competition lies. People who have it figured out, people who don't necessarily let their pain hold them back, have figured out a way to navigate what is in between their ears, right? Because sometimes our hearts and our bodies guide us towards the light. They guide us towards what feels good to us. Our bodies tend to tell us first before it gets to our head what feels good. You know those feelings that you get when somebody says something or you get an idea and you feel that wave of inspiration. You feel the butterflies in your stomach. You just feel that energy flowing through you. And then what normally happens is, probably within a very short period of time, normally 3 to 5 seconds, the noise in between our ears starts to tell us otherwise. Whatever our body is driving us towards, whatever our heart, whatever our energy is driving us towards, all of a sudden we get up into our headspace and our head starts telling us a different story. And oftentimes they're conflicting with one another. So we stay in this place of pain because of what we're telling ourselves in between our ears, and we're focused more on that rather than focused on what's coming from ourselves internally. So the first thing to do, how do I get away from that pain, right? How do I start moving past that, is you have to be aware and understand what the story is that you're telling yourself in between your ears, and recognizing, is that story that I'm telling myself in between my ears different than what my body's telling me? Because oftentimes it is, right? Oftentimes, you get an idea, you get inspired. I want to do something. I know that this probably feels right to me. And then your head starts telling you all of the reasons why you shouldn't do it. Who's familiar with this, right? If you're familiar with this, definitely drop a like, drop an emoji, drop something, because that's oftentimes what happens. And then what happens is we stop listening to our body. We start listening to the way that our body's responding, and we start paying more attention to the bullshit that's happening in between our ears. And that keeps us in that place of pain. So the first step, the first way to start getting away from that pain is to really become familiar and in tune with, what is my body telling me about this circumstance? What is my body telling me? Am I excited about the prospect of this idea? Am I excited about this concept? But then my head starts to tell me something different. And what are those two things? What is the conflict that's happening there? And when I start to understand that, then I can start taking steps where I start to focus more on why my body is driving me towards a certain thing, and start paying less attention to what's happening up here. What is my body telling me? What felt good about that? So for example, cliche example, but one that's relevant to most of us. When I went to bed last night, I knew that I wanted to wake up, and one of the first things I wanted to do when I woke up in the morning was to do some form of exercise. And I actually planned out the form of exercise that I wanted to do. But when my alarm went off, even though when I went to bed I was determined to do this, I was determined to get off my butt and do some exercising. Even though I still kind of felt that way when I woke up, my head reminded me that I was so comfortable laying in my bed. My head and in between my ears reminded me of how warm I was. It reminded me of how now I'm gonna have to get up and I'm gonna have to put on my workout clothes and I'm gonna have to put on my sneakers and I'm gonna actually have to do something and it's not gonna be easy. So what am I doing there, right? My body was in a place where I was feeling like I was feeling good at my good intentions, but my head was telling me the opposite. My head was preventing me, was telling me why I shouldn't do something. And did my head win out this time, or did my body and my intentions win out this time? And when you start to put those two together and you listen less to this and more to this, you start to get away from pain a little bit more. You start to take those steps to get away from pain, because what happens is when we start to listen to this, then we have regrets. Oh, I should have got out of bed. Why didn't I exercise? Another day went by when I didn't do what I was set out to do, when I didn't complete my goal, when I didn't complete my intention. And then what do? You circle back, right? You circle back to beating yourself up, and it causes more pain, right? It causes more emotional pain. Hi, Donna, I see you, and thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. So you want to get away from this and you want to focus more on this. So what I implore you guys to do after hearing this video is write down the last time, even if it's something you're going through right now, that your body was telling you to move in a certain direction, that your body was inspiring you to do something, that you felt driven to do something, and how your head prevented you from doing that, and start to make those connections. Even listening to this video and thinking about this on a different level is a way to make a different connection and a way to start getting away from that pain. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If this is resonating with you, if it's something that you want to continue to explore more, if you're like, yeah, Suzanne's onto something here, it's making me think in different terms. If you don't know this already, I always do free, what I like to call clarity or discovery calls, where we talk about things like this, where I'm able to hear a little bit about what you're struggling with and offer some solutions to you. All free stuff. So if you're open to do that, I'll drop a link below. I'm always starting new programs and new ways for people to get better in touch with how to stop their pain, how to start structuring their worlds differently. And I would be awesome, and I would feel awesome to be able to provide that for you. So definitely, if you haven't already, also follow my Redefine Your Purposes Facebook group. If most of you aren't following that already, I go a little bit deeper into the things like I did today, and I'd love to have you on board there. So hope to see you guys soon. Hope this resonated for you, and have an awesome, awesome day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.